Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The center around which something rotates. A group of countries in special alliance. The second cervical vertebra serves as a pivot for turning the head. A straight line through a body or figure that satisfies certain conditions. In World War II, the alliance of Germany and Italy in 1936, which later included Japan and other nations. The main stem or central part about which plant organs or plant parts such as branches are arranged. The center around which something rotates. A group of countries in special alliance. The second cervical vertebra serves as a pivot for turning the head. The atomic process that occurs during a chemical reaction. He determined unique mechanisms for the photochemical reactions. The technical aspects of doing something. A mechanism of social control. A natural object resembling a machine in structure or function. The mechanism of the ear. Device consisting of a piece of machinery, has moving parts that perform some function. Philosophy, the philosophical theory that all phenomena can be explained in terms of physical or biological causes. The state of being combined into one body. The union of diverse things into one body or form or group, the growing together of parts. An organization of people, or countries, involved in a pact or treaty. The state of being allied or confederated. A connection based on kinship or marriage or common interest. The shifting alliances within a large family. The act of forming an alliance or confederation. An organization of people, or countries, involved in a pact or treaty. A formal agreement establishing an association or alliance between nations or other groups to achieve a particular aim. Astronomy. Apparent meeting or passing of two or more celestial bodies in the same degree of the zodiac. An organization of people, or countries, involved in a pact or treaty. The act of adjusting or aligning the parts of a device in relation to each other. The spatial property possessed by an arrangement or position of things in a straight line or in parallel lines. An organization of people, or countries, involved in a pact or treaty. One of 7 vertebrae in the human spine located in the neck region. One of 7 vertebrae in the human spine located in the neck region. A course of reasoning aimed at demonstrating a truth or falsehood. The methodical process of logical reasoning. I can't follow your line of reasoning. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. His face has many lines. Mechanical system in a factory whereby an article is conveyed through sites at which successive operations are performed on it. A connected series of events or actions or developments. Historians can only point out those lines for which evidence is available. The road consisting of railroad track and roadbed. A conceptual separation or distinction. There is a narrow line between sanity and insanity. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A conductor for transmitting electrical or optical signals or electric power. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Often plural, a means of communication or access. Lines of communication were set up between the two firms. The descendants of one individual. His entire lineage has been warriors. Space for one line of print, 1 column wide and 1/14 inch deep, used to measure advertising. A short personal letter. Drop me a line when you get there. A telephone connection. Be in line with, form a line along. Trees line the riverbank. The maximum credit that a customer is allowed. A particular kind of product or merchandise. A nice line of shoes. A pipe used to transport liquids or gases. A pipeline runs from the wells to the seaport. A commercial organization serving as a common carrier. Acting in conformity. In line with. A formation of people or things one behind another. The line stretched clear around the corner. A formation of people or things one beside another. The line of soldiers advanced with their bayonets fixed. A fortified position, especially one marking the most forward position of troops. They attacked the enemy's line. A length, straight or curved, without breadth or thickness, the trace of a moving point. A mark that is long relative to its width. He drew a line on the chart. A single frequency, or very narrow band, of radiation in a spectrum. A spatial location defined by a real or imaginary unidimensional extent. Cover the interior of. Line the gloves. Fill plentifully. Line one's pockets. In games or sports, a mark indicating positions or bounds of the playing area. Mark with lines. Sorrow had lined his face. Persuasive but insincere talk that is usually intended to deceive or impress. Let me show you my etchings as a rather worn line. Reinforce with fabric. Lined books are more enduring. Something, as a cord or rope, that is long and thin and flexible. A washing line. Text consisting of a row of words written across a page or computer screen. The letter consisted of 3 short lines. Material consisting of seed coverings and small pieces of stem or leaves that have been separated from the seeds. A slender or elongated structure that supports a plant or fungus or a plant part or plant organ. A hunt for game carried on by following it stealthily or waiting in ambush. The act of following prey stealthily. A stiff or threatening gait. Follow stealthily or recur constantly and spontaneously to. Her ex-boyfriend stalked her. Go through an area in search of prey. Stalk the woods for deer. Walk stiffly. Cylinder forming a long narrow part of something. A slender or elongated structure that supports a plant or fungus or a plant part or plant organ. Stop the flow of a liquid. Stem the tide. Linguistics, the form of a word after all affixes are removed. Thematic vowels are part of the stem. A turn made in skiing. The back of one ski is forced outward and the other ski is brought parallel to it. Front part of a vessel or aircraft. Cause to point inward. Stem your skis. Grow out of, have roots in, originate in. The increase in the national debt stems from the last war. Remove the stem from. For automatic natural language processing, the words must be stemmed. The tube of a tobacco pipe. A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. Small markers inserted into a surface to mark scores or define locations, etc. To hold fast or prevent from moving. The child was pinned under the fallen tree. When a wrestler's shoulders are forced to the mat. Cylindrical tumblers consisting of two parts that are held in place by springs. When they are aligned with a key, the bolt can be thrown. Axis consisting of a short shaft that supports something that turns. A number you choose and use to gain access to various accounts. Flagpole used to mark the position of the hole on a golf green. Informal terms for the leg. A club-shaped wooden object used in bowling, set up in triangular groups of 10 as the target. A piece of jewelry that is pinned onto the wearer's garment. A small, slender, often pointed, piece of wood or metal used to support or fasten or attach things. Attach or fasten with pins. Pin the needle to the shirt. Chess. Immobilize a piece. Pierce with a pin. Pin down the butterfly. Turn on a pivot. Axis consisting of a short shaft that supports something that turns. The person in a rank around whom the others wheel and maneuver. The act of turning on, or as if on, a pivot. The golfer went to the driving range to practice his pivot. The axis around which the major rotor of a helicopter turns. The axis around which the major rotor of a helicopter turns. The group of countries whose currencies are tied to the British pound sterling. The group of countries whose currencies are tied to the British pound sterling. The group of countries whose currencies are tied to the British pound sterling. A line that passes through the center of curvature of a lens so that light is neither reflected nor refracted. In a normal eye, the optic axis is the direction in which objects are seen most distinctly. In a doubly refracting crystal, the line in the direction of which no double refraction occurs. One of the fixed reference lines of a coordinate system. The longest axis of an ellipse or ellipsoid passes through the two foci. The shorter or shortest axis of an ellipse or ellipsoid. A line that passes through the center of curvature of a lens so that light is neither reflected nor refracted. 1/2 the major axis of an ellipse. The distance from the center of an ellipse to one end. 1/2 the minor axis of an ellipse. The series of vertebrae forming the axis of the skeleton and protecting the spinal cord. Axis of a compound leaf or compound inflorescence. The fleshy axis of a spike often surrounded by a spathe. A tooth-like process at the back of second vertebra of the neck.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.